Hi, Craig.
Hey, Brandon.
Okay. I remember the day very clearly when you came to me and said, I've created the best beard oil in the world. And I said, what is beard oil? I've never heard of beard oil before. So, being a numbers guy, being a marketer, I went out and did some research. And I said, wow, this beard oil thing is popular. People are buying this like crazy. There's tons of them out there. And I started understanding this is a whole market that's just growing like crazy. And people use beard oil to grow beards. So you introduced me to this concept,
Right.
but I was still a skeptic. Okay, I was like, well, okay, you built a great beard oil, but how great is it? What else is out there, right? There's tons, when I was doing my research, there's tons of other beard oils on the market. How are you going to have something that's different? I mean, truly different.
Sure.
So what do we do?
Well, we had to go to the next step, and I know that you're a forensic researcher, and so that's the numbers and the documenting and verifying everything is extremely as important as you know. Because if everybody says something, it's not true. Does that make it true?
I've got the best beard oil
Everybody's
on the
the
market.
best.
When you go online and search, everybody says
Everybody's the best. Everybody is the best. And so, in all honesty, when I started on this journey, when I had decided to grow my beard and grow it to a legendary epic level, it was late 2015, and I remember going through this process of the passion that I have for chemistry and science, and I started in developing a product that I hadn't told you about at the time, and my sole specific goal was to make something that was a real premium product just for myself. I had absolutely no intentions of selling it, providing it to anybody, because at the time I only had a couple, two, three friends that had kind of a little bit more than a 5 o'clock shadow. And so I wanted to develop something using science and chemistry that was so powerful. And I would just use it on myself to prove to myself, and only for myself, that I could do this, and that the science and the chemistry would hold up under scrutiny. And lo and behold, it did. And so I remember that was about the time I came to you and told you what I had.
And you did. You came to me and you said, okay, I have the best beard oil. And obviously, I believe you as a friend, but I wanted to believe you because I'm a numbers guy. I wanted to believe you with the data as well, right?
Right.
So what we ended up doing is we went out to the market and bought a ton of beard oil in the market. All the top sellers, right? If we did a search for beard oil, who's number one, who's number two, who's number three, we just kept buying them. Not because we really wanted to use the beard oil, but we wanted to learn, why are they number one? Why are people buying a lot of these beard oils? And what shocked us really was what we discovered. I mean, we started looking at the ingredients, we started, smelling the scents, you even tried a bunch of them, right? And what we discovered was they're almost all the same. I mean, there is very little difference from number one to number five to number 10 to number 20 scientifically. I mean, you look at the ingredients, you can't find a lot of difference. It might be just a small bit of this and a small bit of that. And so basically, we came to the conclusion that a lot of these companies are basically buying their beard oils in the same location or from similar locations and just putting a label on it, right? With private labeling. And online, that's a very common theme out there. You're going to find a lot of the same products with just a different name on it, and that's what we discovered in the beard oils.
Right. Well, one thing that you had said just a few minutes ago was that we had bought these oils to try. And I knew well in advance that compound-wise, scientifically, with the chemistry that they use, that absolutely nothing that they had would lend to or facilitate somebody growing a beard. So it wasn't for the necessity of using their products to prove that they didn't work that we bought them. It was to find out, like you said, why people are buying these, when truly, in fact, there is no scientific basis of any of them making the claims that they made. And so that was kind of an interesting thing. In fact, today, if you look in the market as a whole, and I know you do this like nonstop, the market is absolutely flooded with those companies that make those claims.
New ones every day.
New ones every day. And it's just, you get this feeling of, and through your research, I understand where you've got all this hard data, is that you look at this industry as a whole and you see these products, and it's merely just people with a different name, a different bottle, and it's just basically slapping a new label on it. And what they do, they've recognized that selling under these terms of growth or this or that are popular.
Mhm.
And so what they do is they just use those just haphazardly.
They're taking
Abs-
advantage.
Absolutely take advantage of people.
Let's even go deeper on this, okay?
Mhm.
And this is kind of a scary area for a lot of people, and maybe some people don't want to hear this. But the second step was, okay, all these people are buying their beard oils, right? Where are they coming from? Where is this being made? And so we actually, I asked you, where are people getting their bulk beard oil being made? And so we did some more research, and I went out there and found wholesale beard oil companies, right?
Mhm.
Very few come from the United States.
True.
Very few of them do. And I reached out to them. I was like, hey, how much oil do you need for a minimum? How does this work? I wanted to understand it, right?
Right.
And the prices were so high. From a U.S.-based wholesale beard oil supply, the pricing is so high, most of the people online aren't buying from those sources. So the dark secret comes is, where are they getting it then? If they're going to have that low of a price, where are they getting it from? And it's China. I mean, that's really the result I found factories overseas in China that make these beard oils, and they even have, pictures of the original names and private labels and stuff. These beard oils are coming from China. So 9 times out of 10, maybe it's 8 times out of 10, but most of the beard oils that we're finding, that we've done our research on, are coming from China with their own private label on it, and they're just marketing the crazy out of it, right?
Mhm.
And they're selling tons of beard. That's why they might be number 1, number 2. Not because necessarily they have the best beard oil,
Right.
scientifically,
True.
but they've done a great job marketing and the brand name, and people are buying it.
Exactly. Isn't it amazing that when you look around, and I'd give this test to anybody, I would challenge anybody that's in has an interest in buying beard oil, using beard oil, whether it's a wife for her husband or a girlfriend for her boyfriend, or just a guy that's wanting to start using beard oil, is intrigued by it, is when you look at companies, and I've done this is some of the research that I've done in my own time, and as you know, I can get pretty forensic in my research as well as the science and chemist part of this, and that is, when you look around, you'll notice that very few companies selling beard oil actually have somebody with a beard in their company.
That was another discovery.
They don't even want to show you.
They
Yes.
don't. Yeah, they don't even have a beard, which I don't, but you do. They don't have a beard, and they've never. I mean, they sell other items, and
It's a marketing
they're
opportunity.
not focused.
Right,
They're just-
like you said, it's a marketing opportunity. It's a way for them to make money. They've discovered that they could put their name on a product and sell it and make money. I could probably name, which I won't, but I could name a solid handful of companies that truly have somebody who is a beard connoisseur, somebody who has a beard, somebody who has a great beard, who understands more and more of the science and the chemistry behind it. And that would be a tiny little portion of this whole industry. So next time before you buy beard oil,
You can.
make sure you know that somebody, and don't accept one of these cut and paste Google image pictures of a guy with a beard.
All the $5 ones.
Right.
$5
Exactly.
But okay, so let's actually get into the meat of Poseidon a little bit more first.
Sure.
So one thing that I love is this is actually a U.S. made beard oil.
In our lab.
It's not the label.
Right.
It's the oils, the entire oil ingredients.
Everything
It's
is
a
100%
US made-
certified organic.
Yep,
Yes, sir.
and U.S. made product.
Right.
Designed here in the United States, made here in the United States.
True.
And so it's truly American. And
Right.
so there's no uncertainty of what's inside
Correct.
this bottle from one
Huge.
week to the next.
Right.
That's important. But going scientifically a little bit of how Poseidon is actually better and different. 'Cause we're saying it, we've got to kind of prove it now.
Sure. I'll try not to get too deep into the weeds because you get deep into the weeds very, very quickly. And sometimes it's hard to get out. Sometimes people have a difficult time following you. As you know, as a U.S.-based lab, we need to be extremely safe when it comes to things like the allergenic proteins, which we don't. There are certain oils that we just will not ever use. There are certain compounds we'll just never use. We can't because there could be an allergenic component to that could affect the individual or members of their family. Even pets are affected by certain allergenic proteins, so we can't use those in our products. We also test every oil that we use with MCGS. So the mass spectrometer, gas chromatography, we want to test everything to validate that what we're using is absolutely pure. Okay, and so when you start putting together a compound, the last thing on your mind is chemically and scientifically what we want it to smell like.
Mhm.
That part comes a little bit later because we want to make something that people want to wear, right?
Mhm.
We've talked about this in previous videos.
Yep.
Is that it's got to be something that they'll use, that's pleasant, that's refreshing, that they'll use. But that actually is far down the line when you first start putting something together.
We've always said science before sense, but the unfortunate situation is most beard oils have marketed the scent before the science.
True.
And so they've conditioned, I'll
Right.
use that word, the customer to think about the scent. They put it in the front of their minds. They've highlighted that as the biggest selling feature, and so people are making decisions of their beard oil based on the scent first.
Right.
And we're changing the game here.
Absolutely. Think about it from this angle. There are hundreds of essential oils. There are many, many dozens of carrier oils. There's many compounds that can be used in beard oils. If there was no scientific basis for any of those to be used, why then do people use 4, 5, 6, 8, 10, 12, in some cases 15 ingredients? Why do they do that to build their formulas? And the answer to me is very, very simple, is that either they are completely clueless and have no idea, or they're just guessing. Because when you test these components down to levels like their monoterpenes and their sesquiterpenes and their phenols, phenylpropanoids,
I have no idea what that means.
I mean, yeah, when you get down to the even deeper in the molecular structure of these
Yeah.
components, you realize that you don't need 15 components in it. So as I look at the industry as a whole, or the business as a whole, and these companies, it has this very obvious look that people are just flat out guessing. They've done a little bit of research online. They've gone to Google. They've said, okay, this here smells good and it's supposed to do this and this and this. Now, my question is always, what actually does it do? Okay, so when we're talking about our Poseidon, which is now in its second iteration, 3X, which sounds kind of interesting, but that is a formula that was specifically based off facilitating beard growth. Okay, so using the science, the chemistry, there's things we have to do. We work with things like vasoconstriction and vasodilation. So when your epidermis, your skin, is starting to open up, okay, and we're using that, there's certain compounds that we use to dilate the cells in our skin, allow nutrient to get down, and then once they're there, for lack of a better way of saying it, once we've allowed those to penetrate, then we want to constrict, and we want to tighten things up. We want to work on the hair follicle. We want to work on the molecular structure of how hair is, and if there's molecules that can actually penetrate that follicle and make the hair strengthen. It goes on and on and on. And so the interesting part of it is that when you deduce every one of these components down,
Mhm.
and you get a chance to really see what works, that's what I did in late 2015. And so once I put my first iteration out there, which I had no idea we'd even be selling it today, and I started using it on myself, I was astonished. I was astonished at how things started to change. And it's come even further since then.
Yeah, I mean, we started off, you told me you think you've created the best beard oil in the world. And I was a skeptic. I honestly was.
You should be.
We did our research, and what we saw on the market somewhat supported that theory. What you've proven scientifically through the knowledge and the change of using specific chemicals that are focused on the objective of growing a beard has proven the concept. And finally, the part that got me over the edge. I mean, I'm totally on board with this. Yes, we do have the best beard oil in the world right now with Poseidon, is because of the feedback from our customers.
Right.
And the fact that they keep buying it month after month after month. Some of them are buying the monthly subscription now. Some of them are buying a whole year supply at a time. I mean, we're getting orders for a whole year's supply at a time. There's Facebook groups of Poseidon followers out there. I mean,
In
this
other
thing
states.
is going crazy on us.
Yeah, it's
And
exciting.
I'm convinced we do have the best beard oil on the planet, scientifically, and people are finding it out
Right.
by trying.
Right.
So I'm sold.
Yeah,
And I
it's-
believe our customers are being sold as well now.
They are too. And like I said, I always tell people that once they understand the science of growing a beard to begin with, because you don't just grow a beard in 7 days. You don't grow a beard in a month. When you first start on our product, the Poseidon, it's going to take, I always tell people that, our hair on our face grows in a monthly cycle about a half an inch a month. So if you use a product for the month and you're expecting these results, and you stop, what you're doing is you're interrupting this process, the cycle process. So in the second 60 days is when the first 30 days of product usage starts to show its results. Okay? So I always tell people that if you just want to get beard oil and you want to see what it is, start with Poseidon. If you understand the science and you really want to grow an epic, legendary beard, then you're going to want to stay on the product because it keeps giving and giving and giving and giving all the time. And so you need that. We've got environmental toxins. We've got toxins in our water. We've got toxins in our shampoos. We've got toxins in our food. Everything we do has an effect. And so we need to keep nutrifying and helping establish, take care of our skin, take care of our hair, and so on. So it takes time to do that. And you want to stay on the product as long as you can, for as long as you want to get into growing a phenomenal beard.
So there you have it. I challenge you, before you buy your next beard oil, right? 2 things. 1, look at the package and look at the ingredients in that package. Put science before sense, right? We do want it to smell good, but science comes first. And number 2, see if you can get a picture of the owner of that brand. And do they look like this? Are they actually using their products and proving that it actually works day in and day out? I mean, you got to eat your own dog food, so to speak.
Absolutely.
There's a business term called that. And we eat our own dog food.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's a great 2 points to make, because that, at the end of the day, is really what matters. You want to know who you're dealing with. You want to know that it's U.S. made, that everything can be validated, everything is tested, everything is scientific, and everything is chemistry based. That there are safety measures in place to take care of yourself and your family and even your pets. You want to make sure that the people you're dealing with they live it, they feel it. Like I said, when I first developed Poseidon, I had absolutely no intentions of selling it. I really didn't, honestly. And so I needed to prove it to myself. Now when somebody asks me about the product, I have absolutely no problem telling them all about it. Okay? But it's frustrating when I go online and I look at these companies and you can't find anybody with a beard, or it's a clip art guy of a beard, and you can't find the people that have a scientific chemistry background, that grow beards, that understand the science, and then go through the steps that we do to actually develop products that are world class.
For many of them, it's a quick buck.
It is just a quick buck.
And hats off, they're making money. But eventually, it's not eventually, it's happening. People are realizing that they want a legitimate beard company, somebody who's focused on beard oil and growing a beard, and go with them along that journey of growing their beard from start to finish, and be with them, when they're, a year from now, or 2 years from now, or 10 years from now. And Legends is set up to do that.
Right, because they're going to have questions forever.
They are.
They're going to have questions, they never stop, and they never stop. And people need help, they need support, they need to understand it. And we've got an engine to drive products and develop products that people, that will really work for guys. It's pretty exciting.
Awesome. Well, there you have it. Sense before science, science before sense. I got it backwards.
Either way.
I get brainwashed. Science before sense. The results matter most. And go check us out at legendsbeard.com.